Hello, everybody. If you've enjoyed Dodger Blue Dream, I beseech you, please rate and review the show however you can. I put a ton into making these episodes, and I'd be so grateful if you take this step to help the show. It just takes a moment. And hey, I'd love to know what you think. Thanks so much. On to the show.
It's time for Dodger Baseball.
Here comes Freddie Freeman.
Monday, August 5th, Dodger Stadium. We saw something we won't forget. A standing ovation in the first inning.
Number 5, Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman is back. After 10 days spent mostly in the hospital at the bedside of his 3-year-old son Maximus, who was at one point fully paralyzed and is now better. Freddie was gone for 8 games, which felt like a lifetime. But as I rose to my feet on Monday night, one of nearly 50,000, I knew that this wasn't about baseball, and yet it was an ovation and a human story that I wouldn't forget. Welcome to Dodger Blue Dream. I'm Richard Parks. This is a documentary about a baseball season made in real time. Today's episode, Freddie's return.
Freddie Freeman was scratched from the lineup today. He is headed back to LA. His 3-year-old son, Max, has been dealing with transient synovitis. Kevin Biggio slides over to first base for the game tonight, and Gavin Lux is going to be in there at second base. That is the lineup change for today as Freddie's out.
When Freddie Freeman is not in the lineup, you know something's wrong. Freddie just posts. He plays every day, famously during an era when rest days are common even for everyday starters. But not for Steady Freddie. Mr. Consistent doesn't like to take days off. And Freddie had started each of the Dodgers' first 104 games when, a couple Fridays ago on July 26th, manager Dave Roberts delivered a lineup card for a game against the Astros in Houston that did not include his everyday first baseman. Freddie had flown with the team to Houston the day before. He had even been seen on the field doing his normal pregame work. But by game time, Freddie was on his way to catch another plane, this one back home to LA, as the broadcast told us, to be with his family. His 3-year-old son, Maximus, was sick.
Friday was hard. It's a hard day.
It had all started earlier that week on Monday, July 22nd, the day the Dodgers opened a series at home against the San Francisco Giants.
He woke up Monday morning with a limp. And by Monday night, he couldn't walk anymore.
Transient synovitis,
which is just like a pain in the hip.
It can be caused by a viral infection.
Tuesday, he still couldn't walk, and he couldn't sit up anymore by that time.
Wednesday, during the 9th inning of a game against the Giants, things took a turn.
They were on the way to the emergency room, so they met him at the emergency room that night. He wasn't eating or drinking anymore. We were still thinking it was transient synovitis, but obviously things were not progressing.
As Wednesday turned to Thursday, Freddie found himself in the ER in the wee hours with his son.
We got discharged at like 3:30. We had a 1 o'clock game. I had like an hour of sleep, so I was surprised I got a hit that day.
That's a base hit to right field.
Thursday after the game, time to board the team plane. The series in Houston starts the next day.
Thursday, we flew. I called Chelsea and FaceTime. I said, I don't know if I should be leaving right now. Something was off. It just felt wrong to leave.
Friday, Freddie's in Houston getting ready to play the Astros.
So Friday we had a pediatrician appointment at 2:45. I got ready for the game, and I disappeared into the clubhouse because I was on FaceTime for that. That pediatrician said, "You need to go to the hospital now. This is not transient synovitis." They were ready to call an ambulance for him because they didn't think he was going to be able to breathe that long. I immediately ran.
Freddie Freeman was scratched from the lineup today. He is headed back to LA. His 3-year-old son, Max, has been dealing with transient
As Freddie
synovitis.
rushed to get home from Texas, at the ER at Children's Hospital of Orange County, things had taken a turn for the worse.
I'm at an airport trying to fly home and getting updates like it was absolutely awful.
Max, the agile son of an athlete, had just days earlier been doing front flips. But at the hospital, paralysis had set in. It started with his feet.
The paralysis usually doesn't take that quickly to move up your body, so it starts in your feet and goes up. Within 4 days, it had reached his shoulders, which is affecting his diaphragm and breathing. So within 2.5 hours, he had a ventilator in.
By the time Freddie had reached the hospital at about 10 p.m., Max had been hooked up to a ventilator and a feeding tube.
Seeing one of your kids on a ventilator, just fighting. It was hard.
I know Dodger fans wouldn't like this, Freddie would say later, but I would gladly strike out with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th inning in Game 7 of the World Series 300 million times in a row than to see that again. Doctors at the hospital diagnosed Max with Guillain-Barré syndrome, a rare neurological condition in which the body's immune system attacks the nerves. Max responded well to intravenous immunoglobulin treatments. When Max was able to shrug his shoulders, they knew that he would be okay. Just as the paralysis had started from the feet and drifted upwards, now the sensation was returning from top to bottom. Within 48 hours of being fully paralyzed, Max was taken off his breathing tube and ventilator.
We came home Saturday night from the ICU. He's doing okay. His personality's back. He's Max. We started PT, but he's got to relearn how to do pretty much everything.
How to walk, how to move his fingers, which are fixed in a claw position, how to smile. But he is expected to make a full recovery.
He's on his way to being better.
July was already on a downward trajectory for this Dodgers team, and in Freddie's absence, things only got worse. After several disappointing losses in Houston, games that should have been won, we were swept by San Diego, and we did not look great in eking out our lone series win of the road trip against the hobbled, sorrowfully forgotten Oakland A's over the weekend. In all, the Dodgers offense collectively batted just .213 without Freddie, and over a 5-game stretch, we set a franchise record for most strikeouts, going back to 1901 when those stats started being tracked. But now, Freddie is back.
Base hit to right field for Freddie Freeman, and for Maximus Freeman.
Dodger Blue Dream is written and produced by me, Richard Parks. Our story editor is Caitlin Esch. Original music in this episode by William Ryan Fritsch, Jonathan Snipes, and by me. Please rate and review Dodger Blue Dream or share it with a friend. Until next time, go Dodgers.